I
but
have
like
so much disdain come at me from people with little to no means, and it's just like a constant fucking barrage of just like, I'm so poor, I can't relate to anything you say, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know what to tell you. I donate to charities. Like, something positive has to come out of this, but it's constant. It's constant.
So in the most recent episode of Two Bears, Tom lets us know that the poors he's so much better than have been living rent-free in his head for quite a while.
Which, by the way, I fly with the poors too. I'm a regular guy. I'm with poors all the time. I take the bus. I ride a bike. I don't know what else to tell you, man. Poors are so mad at me.
You can tell how much this is getting to him because he continues to bring it up like a year later. You'd think he'd just be able to ignore all the hate and go about his life as a rich and famous celebrity, but their egos are way too big to just let that stuff go. They of course go on and on about how toxic social media is and how it breeds nothing but negativity.
Me and you and Joe and Ari were talking about how social media how one day they're going to look back and go, this is as bad as the opioid crisis. This is so bad for mental health.
Terrible.
But the most insane part of this episode is when Tom calls out Bert for lying about being dyslexic, and we get to hear Bert's theory about the true origin of all of these negative comments.
You like, I love when
you see... No, man, I did not.
You never read a book to one of your kids and was like, here's what this is about?
I couldn't.
Why not?
I'm dyslexic, first of all, so I have a hard time reading, and I was broke then, and so I would.
Wait, you say that, but you also do read. Like, I've seen you. I know. So how do you?
I don't know, man. I can do read. You know, I don't know. Like, I misread something the other day. It's the reason I don't read comments. Is I misread things, and then I get in and out of there, and I get angry, and then it's not what I read. It's not the real thing they wrote. I'll misread it.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. My dyslexia, I can read fine, and I can read prompter.
I don't know what level of delusion you have to be on to frame all of the negative comments you're getting as just a very specific form of dyslexia, which for some reason doesn't affect your ability to read a teleprompter. All of this discussion about the toxicity of social media does get Bert to address the Mark Maron situation briefly.
Only to touch on it for a second, but there was a clip I sent to you of Mark Maron and Bobby Lee talking about Maron having contrived beef with me. It wasn't real beef. He was talking about Dave Chappelle. People thought he was talking about me. I've talked to Maron about this. I talked about him in January. We're fine. But you know, but what's crazy about it? What's crazy is both Kalila and Bobby. And it was hard to compartmentalize because I went through it. Like, I went through people sending me the clip and going, yo, he's talking about you.
Yeah.
And I went through it and it bummed me out. But both Bobby and Kalila in that clip are like, yeah, I remember it. That was awesome.
Yeah, they're like, it's exciting. It was fun. Yeah.
And it's so crazy that...
But and here's the thing. That's how most people feel.
I love how surprised he is that Bobby and Kalila found the drama portion of the episode to be the most interesting. Does he not realize that comedians talking shit about one another are the highlights of comedy podcasts now? The mediocre riffing has kind of gotten old at this point.
It's so wild because it does affect you. It affects you where, like, when that was happening, I was like, I was really bummed out. And I was with you the day Maron called me. Or I called Maron called me, or I called... We were together in Las Vegas. We were together in Vegas. Yeah, and I was like, dude, did you see this? And then we were at the gym, and I was walking back from the gym, and I got back to the room, and Maron called me, and I was like, and then, by the way, it didn't get better because I'm friends with Chappelle. So I'm like, well, okay, cool. I can never share this story. I can never defend myself about this. I just got to let it sit and ripen where everyone thinks that you're shitting on me for doing arenas.
Bert also claims that he racks up 18 hours of screen time a day. He justifies this by saying that he sleeps with a podcast on in the background.
The girls, when we were in Hawaii, they looked at my screen time. And this is when I was quitting Zins also. My screen time was 18 hours a day. It's pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
Because what it is I'm on my phone roughly 18 hours a day. Now, I tried to defend it and go, I do listen to podcasts while I sleep,
Yeah.
So that counts as while I'm sleeping. And they go, still, Dad, even if you've slept for 10 hours, there's still 8 hours you're on your phone. Like, on your fucking phone, 8 hours.
But if you go through all these forum posts of these over-controlling parents, apparently background audio does not count towards your screen time. So he would have to only sleep for, 6 hours a night? And the entire day he would have to spend staring at his phone screen? This is obviously just one more of Bert's never-ending lies and over-exaggerations. Does he think that these stories are even believable at this point? And we get some insight into Tom Segura's parenting ability and just how well-adjusted his kids are turning out.
Dude, my 6-year-old woke up the other day, ear to ear. He goes, I had the best dream. I had the best dream, Daddy. And I go, what'd you dream about? He goes, Zachary, Lisa, and Marlon. And I go, who's that? He's like, they're in my class. I go, oh, what happened in your dream? He goes, I cut off their heads with a chainsaw. And I go, what? He goes, yeah, I had a chainsaw and I just cut their heads off. I go,
You don't share those stories.
I know. I'm like, holy shit. I go, how did that make you feel? And he goes, happy. He goes, it made me feel happy. I go, to cut their heads off? He goes, yeah. I love it. I love chainsaws. And I go, okay. You want pancakes? What do you want to eat right now? So he thinks about death too.
I love how that's just the end of the conversation. He doesn't address this any further, ask any questions. He just moves on. Now, I'm not a parent, but that doesn't sound like a very good sign for your kid's mental health. And Bert has also developed a debilitating Zen addiction.
I got to a place where I was putting anything in my mouth. I had Xenos, I had Breakers, I had everything. Lucy's.
Serious withdrawals?
I had legit withdrawals. Like legit in Hawaii, miserable.
Cigars? Did you have some cigars then to kind of balance you out?
No. So I didn't do cigars all through Hawaii. And then when we got to Alabama, I said, I'm going to have a cigar. And I was like, I hope that I don't. But a cigar was fine, totally fine. Didn't have any withdrawals, dude. My withdrawals were so bad that I was sitting in Hawaii and beautiful. It's gorgeous, and all I was thinking about was, I want a Zen. I want something. I need something. Yeah. Like I need a treat. That fucking. And all I was thinking about. And then I was like, I'll just start drinking. And then I was like, wait, what is going on with me? Like I have no control right now.
But yeah, that's going to be it for the day, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, please subscribe, hit the bell. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon.
Shit. This is horrible.
Yeah.